Welcome
Hello.
to the seventh episode of my podcast. I'm very honored to have you on.
Thank you.
I've been a subscriber on your YouTube channel for a while, so um, looking forward to some of the conversations we're going to get into, and some of
Thank
your
you. Me too.
content. Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself and go a little bit into how you got into airsoft.
Well, sure thing. Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Carson, also known as Slim Airsoft. I run that YouTube channel for the past 2 years. I got into airsoft around summer of 2022, started playing at Fox, went to a few other fields here in Colorado, and just loved it. Loved getting further into the hobby, making videos on it, making gameplay videos, every sort of thing. I just love making airsoft content. I've watched airsoft on YouTube for many, many years, especially during the pandemic. I binge watched a lot of different content creators and decided to just finally give it a try a few years ago. And I've been loving it ever since.
Oh, excellent. So you started in 2022, so
Yeah.
recently. All
Yes, I
right,
did.
excellent. Very cool. That's this is awesome because I've been watching your content on your YouTube. Oh, I think almost a year. It's pretty close to that. So
Thank you.
it's you definitely have how should I say your content has definitely expanded and progressed, and
Yes.
that's really cool to see. You went from opening boxes to gameplay to even some funny shorts that, that you post.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, it's pretty cool. Me myself, if you haven't listened to some of my previous episodes, I always give a brief
Mhm.
description of my past. Of course, I try to keep it short because I really got into it on the first episode, and I don't want to bore people with the same content over and over and over. But
Understand.
I started back in 2003, and um, back during the high school years of my existence, and of course backyard stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, and then, of course back then they didn't really have metal as a thing, and hop ups. I heard of it, but it wasn't really a thing. It was kind of crap back then. But
Mhm.
I was only in a hobby for about a few years. I got out of it between 2006, 2007, and then I
All right.
focused on my career. And then as of 2024, beginning of 2024, I had a colleague that, of course, this was after I had a foot surgery on my foot. I had
Mhm.
a colleague was suggesting some ways how I can exercise the foot for better recovery, and we made a joke out of it. And he was like saying, how about you just try airsoft? And I was like, you serious? And and that's exactly how I got into it. I just started going out there, and it kind of went from there. And so that's my background with it. And let me tell you, I mean, compared to 2003 to now, oh Lord, drastically different. I mean, not just you have full metal, casings now and guns and all that stuff, but you have like different varieties, different brands. It's like,
Yeah.
especially with a rocket launcher and all this stuff, and it's like crying
Yep.
out loud. Back
Lots
then
of
we
fun
didn't have
stuff.
any of that. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That that actually reminded me, I think technically my first time with airsoft when I was about 10 or 8 or something. I was going camping actually, and like the people who were at the campsite next to us, they had a son about my age and he had a pair of BB guns and we just like kind of, played outdoors with them.
Yeah, out in the backyard. Yeah,
Yeah.
because back in I think it was 2004 when this happened. I could be wrong on the timing. It's such a long time ago. But I actually
Mhm.
played airsoft inside a townhouse. So,
Oh,
and again, keep in mind this is back in the day when airsoft guns were made out of plastic and they weren't very powerful. So
yeah.
you could actually play with around them inside a house back then,
Yeah.
where it didn't create as much noticeable damage. I guess is one way of saying it.
Hmm.
And he filled the townhouse with those Halloween gas. And we had a party in there, and that's when we played a game inside the townhouse. So that was certainly a memorable moment. But again, nothing like how it is in Fox, where you have a full dedicated map
Yeah.
and you have dedicated players. It's a little bit of difference,
Yeah.
especially when I'm playing with, and especially you as well, what you're playing with your
Yeah. I
gear
got
and
a
your setups. Yeah.
Yeah, my gear is not too crazy, but some of my replicas are pretty out there, I would say, uh, compared to just a standard M4. I love me some shotguns, especially trying to
Yeah.
start getting into LMGs and stuff too.
Well, especially your shotguns. I've seen some of your videos on that, and it's just priceless. Especially like I saw one where like you had like well over 3,000 rounds or something like that inside this
Yes.
casing. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Tokyo Marui AA-12 drum mag. Holds 3,000 rounds. Ridiculous. Completely overkill, but like you don't need to reload or anything ever with it. It's great.
no, absolutely. I remember that because I think on that video that you were showing, I guess a guy was questionable if he was receiving hits or not, and you said I could do this all day, man. I have 3,000 rounds on this.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I
So
know. Yes, I know exactly what you were talking about. It was kind of like a friend I made that day at Fox. I try to make friends with everybody in the staging area. Some of my hits were like kind of weak at the range because it's a shotgun, it's not super powerful. So he didn't feel them. But like, yeah, I just kept hammering the fence he was behind, saying, like, dude, I'm not gonna run out of ammo, like you'll have to peek eventually on me.
yeah,
Yeah, it was funny.
yeah, it's just pretty cool to see some of that stuff because I mean it's you know uh, you're not really shaming anyone. You're just showing what usually happens on a field, and
Mhm.
it's not bad or good, but you're actually showing how it is.
Yeah,
So and again, no one's perfect. Sometimes people can't feel it. That happens.
yeah,
Most of the time, at least with my experience, most of the time when people are receiving hits, they actually don't feel it, and it's actually an honest mistake. It's not something that
yeah.
they're intentionally doing.
Yeah, I'd say that for sure. Pretty much every time I'm looking back at footage of somebody who wasn't calling a hit, it's usually like, oh, it hit the magazine part of their mag carrier, or like I just missed, or again, it was a shotgun and it was like too weak for them to really feel it. Like I'd say 99% of the time, if someone is getting hit, they just aren't feeling it literally. It's not that like there's ill intent involved.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
and just out of curiosity, now how often do you think you encounter that during your matches?
Um, it really depends, honestly. Like for example, if I'm running, I have that 110 shot shotgun that's super weak. Pretty much every game with that because it's just so not powerful. But I would say on average, maybe like once a field day, maybe once every other field day. And it usually is just like again that they just don't feel it. It's not that like they're trying to cheat or anything.
Yeah, all right, well, very cool. And you mentioned you've been playing for 2 years, so I'm sure you've seen,
Mm-hmm.
especially the prison map. I'm sure you've seen like when it's first opened to the point where it's changed numerous times to where it is today. I mean,
Yeah.
feel free to give your feedback on what you thought when it first opened or when you first played in it until what it is now.
Yeah, I'm very glad you mentioned that actually, because the group I was in was the first public game test on the prison. I went with a few of my friends that day, and we were just able to get into the first slot. So that was very exciting. But yeah, they've done a lot of work improving it, adding the trenches, adding a lot of different buildings and doorways. It used to be like pretty much just the main building and then a few not so great fences that they've, of course, improved over time. But yeah, I love that map. I do miss urban at Fox, of course, but prison's lots of fun. I really much enjoy going there. They've done such amazing work on it. And I was actually watching your podcast with the guys from Fox right before this, and I'm excited to hear that they were like going to add more stuff to it in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was pretty lucky to get them on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, and they were able to answer some very interesting questions. I was eager to ask
Yeah.
them. I didn't know if they were going to answer it, because
Mm-hmm.
of them working at Fox. They don't want to reveal too much publicly,
Yeah.
but they were able to reveal a few interesting pieces of information that I'm sure no one else knew. So, I was very happy of how the podcast went. It went better
Mm-hmm.
than expected. Those guys
Yeah.
are actually pretty good. A good crew.
Yeah.
I've had many run-ins with them, especially with Eli. So,
Yep.
it's they make it a very welcoming environment, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're great. I see them every now and then in the field. I always say hi. Usually, I think it's Mason that like whenever I ask at the end of the day, "Hey, can you take a picture of me and my gear?" It's usually him. Yeah.
oh, excellent. Oh, good deal. And do you play throughout the entire year, or are you preset on certain time frames of the year?
I do try to play throughout the entire year as much as I can. It's usually always weather dependent. Where I live, like say if it's snowy at the field at Fox, I'm like probably snowed in at my house. I live in a higher elevation. So I can't play as much as I want to during the winter, but I try to go at least once a month, every month if I can, unless it's extremely hot or extremely cold.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Me personally, I don't really like the cold too much, so I'm
Mhm.
kind of hibernating in the cold.
Fair.
But during the spring and summer, I try to be out there as much as I can, almost every weekend if I can. And
Mhm.
so it's a little bit different. I mean, me, I really need to force myself to do this, actually play in the snow. But I just get I feel more comfortable when the ground is dry, right? So
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
but everyone has a different play style and different tolerance, and totally understand that. It's so it's only curious because I know each player is different,
Mhm.
and I've seen you play in both environments where it was cold and also hot as well. So
Yes.
yeah, that's why I was curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing in the snow. I think everybody should try it at least once. There are some things to keep in mind with snow airsoft, like of course, green gas. I don't think works very well in that environment. But just staying warm and especially keeping your feet dry during a snow game is important. But yeah, I've played in both. I think I prefer the cold more to like a 90-degree day because once you're in the game moving around, it gets better, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember in last summer, I think it was like 95 out, and I was wearing full gear,
Oh,
and everyone's looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
yeah.
Like, I'm trying to be realistic.
Oh man.
So,
uh,
I do lose some weight, but it's hey, at least it's realistic to close to real
yeah.
world, you know. So,
Hmm.
but again, everyone's different.
Yeah.
And with the feet that you mentioned earlier, that is true, and it's also the hands as well. You got to keep that dry as much as you can because those are the two elements, plus your head too,
Hmm.
where you lose heat very quickly. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah. So,
Yeah. Of course.
so out of
So
curiosity, what I mean, what's your favorite play style?
favorite play style. Oh man. Shoot. That's a hard one. I haven't tried all of them yet. Like I have yet to be a sniper. That looks like a lot of fun. But I'd say favorite play style is probably like just I don't even know how to describe it. I guess like frontal assault or something, just being on the front lines, closer the better. Not exactly CQB, but like the next thing from that, I guess.
Oh, I see. So you're kind of used to, or not used to, but you prefer like close combat, essentially.
Yeah, I'd say like 40 to 150 feet or so, maybe.
Oh, okay, okay, I get you. All right,
Yeah,
yeah,
not too good
that's
at
pretty
defining
cool.
it. Yeah. What
No,
about
it's
yours?
mine. It varies. It
Mm,
just depends how I feel on that day.
yeah.
But I'm not sure if you met Spaz, but he's kind of he likes close quarter combat. I
Hmm.
do in a certain extent. I don't like it as a primary play style, if that makes sense. I
Hmm.
only like it if I can exploit it. So, for
Yeah.
example, if I see a vulnerability or um, a break in the lines, I try to rush and either outflank or surprise the enemy up close combat. That's what I like to do. I'm more of a kind of a cautious, but also a person that exploits, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of a mix between the two, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I really want to get into sniping as well. Unfortunately, um, at least for the moment, I want to get into the ghillie suit and all that stuff, but the prison map is not really ideal for that. So
Yeah.
I have to identify another location to fully, enjoy that type of play style. But unfortunately, I haven't located one that's close enough for me to actually do that. Maybe the next
Yeah.
stage of my playing career.
Yeah, I see a few snipers. They go airheads, especially during the spring and summer when there's more grass. I notice them. They've had their first field closed for a bit, which is kind of limited, the map size. But back when that was open, I usually saw one or two snipers at minimum every time I'd go usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and since you've been playing for 2 years,
Mhm.
this might be not too far back. Maybe it is. But were you around when they had the big field, essentially, over at
No, not
Pixel?
at Fox. No, I played urban. I did not play. I think they called it large field, the one with
Lars
like the
Field.
river running through it. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, okay. All right. So you must have started playing after they closed that down or in
Yeah.
process of doing that.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, good deal. Well, out of curiosity, what got you to start up your YouTube channel or Airsoft?
Well, I kind of went in thinking, well, my first day I went and rented, of course. I think everyone should try that for spending a ton of money. I kind of went in with the idea of if I like this, I'm going to start a YouTube channel on it. I've done YouTube for many years on other things, and I have a degree in video actually. So I was like, I'm gonna make videos on this if I think it's great. So yeah, right after my first game of renting, like literally that entire next week, I was looking for my own gear. And then the week after that, I was looking for my own camera to start filming my games. And I think in between that, I started recording unboxings in my garage, actually. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, out of curiosity, what type of video software do you use for your video editing?
I I always use Adobe Premiere Pro. I should use After Effects more, but I just don't. Yeah. I
Yeah,
just Adobe Premiere. Yeah.
yeah, it's the same here. That's what I use as well. Both Adobe um, Premiere Pro and also After Effects.
Mhm.
I used to be really into After Effects years ago, but I think I even mentioned this over a Fox episode just recently that I was able to duplicate like in Star Wars when it first opens up the scene, you're in space
Yep.
and it zooms over to the planet. I used to be able to duplicate that very, very closely. And I was in process of figuring out how they did the starship, with Star Trek, right? Where they have that starship flying across the screen. I was in
Yeah.
process of figuring out how they did that, and then I just kind of, I jumped from one hobby to another. I just lost interest and jumped into another interest.
Yeah. I
So
feel that.
yeah, but this was years ago. So when I got back into video editing and YouTube, for me, I don't know if you noticed, but on my gameplay footage, every episode I released, you could
Mhm.
see a drastic improvement on each one. And it's because I'm
Yeah.
not using the same, how should I say, I'm not stopping my development on a certain standard. I'm actually trying to push beyond what I used to do years ago, and I'm trying to reproduce and push forward on each one. So
Yeah.
so it's been gradually been increasing or gradually getting better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that with your videos, the different like HUD elements and stuff you throw on there. I need to honestly work on that myself a bit. I've been working more on trying to make my audio better, but yeah, I need to throw some more fancy stuff on my screen.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, once you get that going, it's actually really easy to do. It's
Yeah.
if you ever heard of pipelines before, in computer technology or development for developers, once you have your pipeline established, then pumping out videos becomes extremely fast, right?
Yeah.
So and more efficient. So once I have my HUD effects in place, I just simply copy it, paste it to the next one, and then adjust the video for the new frame. So I mean, that's all I'm doing. I'm not literally recreating it every time. So
Nice.
it's a lot more efficient, and it gives me more availability time to progress for the next improvement, right? Because as you
Mhm.
mentioned, you notice the HUD effects I've been using, but you haven't yet seen my version 2 of that,
Oh,
which is going to be
exciting.
it's going to be released, I'm hoping, within the next week or so. It's
Very cool.
so I've updated it, and I've also updated I found a way to record audio comms. So
Mhm.
I'm going to embed that into the video as well. But at the end of the day, it's starting to look more and more like a video game, if that makes sense, right? Because you have that HUD,
Yeah.
and then you're
Yeah.
going into each room, and so yeah, it's
Oh,
progressing little by little.
are you gonna have like a map element on screen?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. That's one of the things I'm working on, but that won't be on
Very
version
cool.
2, not on version 2. But I am working on that on After Effects, actually.
That's very cool.
Now I'm
I'm
kind of
excited to
wondered
see
how
that.
I'm wondered how you knew to ask that because I only told two people. So
No,
so
no, no,
that must have
no.
been a completely random question. So
No, well, you mentioned like video game when you're going into a room. My mind just kind of made that connection. But also, every once in a while, especially at Fox, I'll bring this 360 camera. I don't have a drone yet, but the 360 camera allows me to get like high up shots of like, kind of an aerial view of the field. And I always think about like having that kind of view as a map sometimes, but like I need a bit more effort to pull that off.
yeah, and this takes how should I say persistence and trial and error, right? If that makes
Hmm.
sense. So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally understand that. I was looking at 360 cameras myself, but I haven't been approved to buy it yet. So
Yeah.
on my side, I have to get the act of Congress to approve it before I have the funding
Oh,
to actually get it, if that makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah. I think I
So
get you.
so it's I'd like to get into that too, but little by little over time, I'm sure I'll be able to
Hmm.
achieve that. But I
Yeah.
mean, with your YouTube channel, if you don't mind, I'd like to share it. I'd like to share my screen and maybe review some of your content, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure thing. And
Excellent.
really quick, I do want to say for those 360 cameras, they're great for just fun shots. For airsoft, you do need, in my opinion, overpriced lens protectors to run anything like that. But I've seen some people do some really creative stuff with 360 cameras, especially like the third person things. Or what I really want to do is put my camera up on one of the ref towers. So I have like this overview of the entire field. And if I could like get it over a prison hallway, I just think that'd be sick.
That I can imagine that. And that thinking of like, yeah, that would be pretty slick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're going with this. So
Mm-hmm.
it's we're gonna have some future conversations because I have some ideas on that could help you. So,
Alrighty.
but yeah, give me a second here. Let me
All good.
share my screen. Start showing your content here. You have some really good stuff here.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think I need to catch up on your latest gameplay video. I've been trying to watch all of them like back to back.
You'll definitely notice improvements on each one.
Yeah, I
But
have for
if you wait
sure.
another week, you'll have a more updated version. But
Nice. Yeah. You actually reminded me a little, just while you're pulling it up. I did have one video where I tried a HUD element and I had an underbarrel shotgun on my M4 and I just tried to like show when I was switching to which one. Like I had one where like, grayed out than the other.
yeah, yeah, we could definitely if I mean if you like, we could definitely start viewing that on here if you could point it out. Do you have a
Honestly, I don't
preference on
remember.
which one?
Um, Preference, no, just not the buckshot roulette one. Anything but that, and I'd be good with.
It's like the shotgun has my interest, the minigun has my interest, um, and also the
Um,
shield here as well.
I'd say my best gameplay one is probably the shotgun team kill, maybe, or the
Shotgun
ESG
team
10
kill.
one. Yeah,
All right, let's see if I
it's
can
up to
type
you
that out
though.
here.
I have a lot of different things.
Here we go. You're talking
Yeah.
about this one right here. All
Hmm.
right. Yeah, let's go ahead and share it. Or let's go ahead and play this one.
Alrighty.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes, I
This
can.
game is called
All right. Awesome. Good deal. For the audience, if you don't know, this is over at Slim Airsoft. So feel free to look him up. He has some pretty good content.
Thank you. This was actually at Fox's summer kickoff event, I believe.
Oh, okay. From last summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Because it
I
looks
think
like 6 months
this
here.
May. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, May. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, May or June. I don't know how fast I edited this.
called Operation Scorpion, and it is perhaps the best airsoft match I've ever played. It utilizes both fields here at Fox Airsoft, and there are two phases. In phase 1, the attackers have to raise a flag far into the first field. That flag will then become their new spawn point. The defenders can start far up, but once they get out, they have a really far away respawn. Phase 1 is semi-automatic only. In Phase 2, the attackers have to get through 2 massive gates to breach onto the second field, where automatic fire is allowed. They then have to get into the prison, grab a briefcase, and bring it all the way back to their flag in order to win the match. For this first round, we will be defending. My friend Vinny has my M4, and I have my SGR-12 automatic shotgun, which should be more than enough stopping power for the massive horde about to come my way.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is great.
Double, triple, quadruple kill.
Oh my gosh, look at all that.
Makes me smile every time.
Let's replay that from Vinny.
Let's replay that.
Yeah, I was just playing with one of my friends to this day, and I gave my head cam.
Left side. Watch out. Over here. They're like right there.
Since I was up close to use my
kinda...
shotgun's range, I had a really great start to...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's always kind of tricky for me to edit 2 perspectives together like that. I have a few days where I'm playing with one of my friends, and they borrow my camera, and it's like, I don't know, putting those just 2 together is such a struggle, I feel like.
Honestly, I have to agree with you on that, because I just recently did that with Spaz. I think it's called it's on my channel here. It's down here. Yeah, it's this one right here, the Ultimate Co-op Airsoft Experience.
Yeah.
So that took me a while, and I had problems because, and again, it wasn't Spaz's fault. It's just we had 2 separate GoPro versions that were recording in 2 different rates, and I had video stabilization with a higher grade version of it. He had a lower grade version of it, so it wasn't exactly the same quality.
Yeah.
So I had to go through multiple layers of making the video as stable as I could. And unfortunately, I was limited to how far I can go with it. So it's unfortunate, but it got usable, and I was able to use it, and I was able to shift from one player to the other. And in order to keep the audience in track on which player they're looking at, I even had a HUD effect at the top right, which told you if it was under player 1 or player 2. So they knew,
nice,
which player angle they're looking through, right? So I totally understand where you're coming from with that. I had major struggles on that as well on my side of it. So it just takes time.
Yeah, I think actually from that the one video I did do HUD stuff. I didn't do HUD for the people, but like usually I tried at the beginning of the video, like you can see I'm using this black shotgun, and then I cut to the second person who's using my tan M4, and that's how I kind of like get people to tell it immediately. But like, yeah, if 2 people are using, similar-ish guns, I think that HUD element is a good thing to do for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It gives more clarity
on
who you're looking at or looking through, I guess I should say.
Yeah, actually on that first prison match video, I had a super shaky, I was trying to shoulder cam that day. It's a terrible idea. The footage was bad. And I actually just put the footage side by side so that people could see the more nicer stabilized footage from my friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know which one you're referring to. But yeah, I mean, stabilization on video is a world of difference. That's for sure. Because me personally, if again, it's not anyone's fault. It's just the gear. But if I'm looking at captured video that is shaking like hell, it gives me a headache after about 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I'm just very happy that that we have people out there that develop tools to where it kind of automates this stuff for you, and it makes it a lot more. Yeah, exactly. Right. Thank you, GoPro. But yeah, I'm just very happy they progressed on making that more easier for everyone.
Yeah.
Start to this match, but as you can see, we are losing teammates fast, and our respawn is very far away.
Here's another one.
Yeah, they were all just swarming out of spawn. Yeah.
I'll be back.
I actually love
this
shot because look what the guys in
this
front
is
of
one of
the
the
gate
gates they will have to get through to breach the next objective.
Respawn,
Like just they see
respawn.
me running back and then they all go back with me for some reason. I
They
always
all
love
go
that.
back with you.
Yeah, like I was hit. They weren't in danger.
With only a head cam, it's hard to see the hits at this range, but Vinny is doing a good job getting people out and holding the front line.
They're pushing, they're pushing.
Yeah, my friend Vinny, he's fun to play with.
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
And while he reloads, there's the flag that will become the attack team's new respawn. I don't know why they waited to bring it in. Kind of weird, but that's where it is. It's pretty far up on field 1.
Oh, this part's pretty funny. This is a
Hey,
recurrence at Fox a
Are you
lot.
on my side? Is it? This guy. Oh shit!
He's tamed.
Yeah,
Trying to identify who's who.
yeah. It's such a like common thing at Fox or any field, but I see it at Fox a lot.
What? What do you see? People, just straight ahead. Paint wall. Okay. Left side.
Yeah, oh, I love these big game days.
What?
So they raised the flag. Now on to phase 2. They have to get through these gates first, but as you can see, we have a lot of people ready to meet them.
A lot of people creating them.
Yep.
And it looks like you're firing 3 BBs at a time.
Yeah, this is an automatic shotgun.
Hey. Watch out, he's peeking through the hole. Can we auto yet?
Oh, Mason.
Oh.
I love this guy.
That's why you hear the PKM ripping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an issue I have with a lot of my videos is like some of the midsections are really slow.
Nah, that's totally fine. I mean, I have some videos that are in a similar excitement
Yeah.
stage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like I want it to be hits 24/7, but that's obviously not very realistic.
What's he
Or if
doing?
it is, it's extremely rare. So I'm like trying to show the game progression and like show, they're getting through the doors now.
Oh, no, hey, watch left, I'm pushing left. Watch the left. Yeah, they're on the left. Yep. Hey, here they come.
The ref just delayed our respawns, which means instead of going to the spawn and coming right back, they need to wait for a group of 5 to get to respawn before letting us all go back at once.
Here comes one of them. They're pushing.
Oh, dead.
Oh, this one was embarrassing.
Oh,
Yeah, just like was not ready at all.
Here they come, they're pushing.
Yeah, the motor started getting loose there.
That's what my M4 sounds like when this little screw gets too loose where it holds the motor in. I know it sounds awful, but good job on Vinny for holding that down.
Careful.
nice.
Yeah.
They're both there.
Yeah. I love this
Oh, we're
shotgun.
good.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Good shots. I mean,
Yeah.
you did a good job
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, thanks. That was a really fun video to record, but like again, the middle was so kind of slow that as you can see the view count is not the greatest on that. But it's like, yeah, it starts with a really great kill streak, and then I'm just kind of having bad positioning for the rest of it, and then at the end, it's another great kill streak.
Especially in the very beginning. Got like 10, I believe, all in that
Yeah,
short
I
amount of time.
yeah, that's what's great. I mean, like that's one of the few scenarios where a shotgun I'd say is better than like just a semi AEG, because you're actually outputting more bullets, and that's on a semi only field where having a shotgun is just like a huge advantage if you can do that.
Oh yeah, especially firing 3 at a time. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an advantage.
yeah. Oh, that was such a fun day.
I love this minigun that you first post out.
Yeah,
Um,
Hello, YouTube. Welcome back.
yeah. This was this is actually a risky video to do because I had my 360 camera on the minigun with no lens protectors on it, so I was just really hoping it didn't get shot at.
it sounds like you made it through all right. I mean,
I did, yeah.
yeah, that's really cool.
Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm testing out my brand new minigun for Airsoft. Because a minigun is designed to be fired from the hip, it's got that chainsaw style grip. My shots aren't the most stable today, and neither is the footage, so I will not be putting hit markers in today's video. You can just judge for yourself whether I hit somebody or not.
Whether it's something or not.
Someone needs to make a stabilized scope cam. Just right up close next to the barrels.
Since the minigun is full auto only, it makes it a little bit more situational to use. That said, it is very good for clearing out large areas and keeping the enemy's head down.
I said, this is nice. And then we cleared up the. Whoa!
You must go through a lot of BBs pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I went through like a bottle and a half that day, I think.
Hey, corner Greenville? Nope.
Like around 7,000 or so.
And it's all from the minigun.
I saw where they were last time. I can just run to the log and.
Well, it's because there's a guy literally straight ahead behind a wall. That could work.
That could work.
No. Literally, like, closest to the floor.
And I see the
straight
360
down
cam
behind
that you're
the,
talking about. It's mounted on the side.
Yeah, because I usually have a selfie camera. I couldn't do that on the mini because it's where it is at your hip. And also, like that 360 footage, it's not the highest quality, like as you can see there, compared to a scope
That
cam,
is all I
but
have
it
for
is
game
so
one
much
today.
more
Before we're going to the
stabilized.
next one, I want to explain a minigun is a suppressing fire weapon. Obviously, it's great fun, but given that my scope cam is sideways and I cannot confirm kills on every one I get, a lot of the footage I got today was not that well usable, but I do have some good clips from the next games of suppressing fire.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Definitely
You can hear
firing
all that
back.
return
I love
fire.
that
Yeah,
after
they're
that
just
really
like, oh,
loud
he's done.
spray,
Get him.
That then you hear the enemy BBs start to hit my building. That is the longest spray I did with the minigun, I think, all day. You can actually hear the motor get weaker halfway through it, so I was kind of trying to go easy on it. I didn't know how much battery this thing could actually go through.
Yes. I'll put that over.
Yo, are you? Hey,
Guys behind the
are you able to get that up there?
Where?
Clean up and start laying down fire on this right side over here.
Sure. Well, they're also on that corner of the building.
That's what I mean. We can keep them pinned down. If us guys shoot the corner, we can get them.
Give me a second.
Now, the minigun
One of my
doesn't
favorite
have great
parts
range
of-
or accuracy. It just makes up for it.
Cut myself off there. One of my favorite parts about running these crazier replicas, especially the minigun, is when people can like tell me what to do, especially if I can like, if there's a little kid on the field and they get to tell the minigunner what to do. Like that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it's cool because you're utilizing its functionality as mainly as a suppressive fire weapon.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. When I first saw that, I was like, I gotta get one of those. But
They're fun.
but again, act of Congress to get it approved for funding.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just pretty cool stuff. I love this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see what else you got here.
Trying
Airsoft
to think.
fails.
Oh,
Crazy kill streak.
that's an okay video. The automatic shotgun one was a crazier kill streak. I named it that because I fell really hard at the beginning of the video.
I've done that too. It's believe me, it's more common than you
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah. I've taken a few good falls. I had a pretty funny one up at Go Airheads one time, actually. They had one of the like shipping container doors open and it like stops right at the bottom. And I was running towards it, trying to slow down. I started sliding on the BBs, and then like I am like just very slow. I hit the door, and then I just immediately fall back. Yeah, they're like it didn't hurt or anything, but like it just was funny. Yeah,
Me, I seem to slip a lot, and it's because it has to do with my foot, with the foot I had
mm,
surgery with. I have a slight delay. So when you're sprinting, right, you use both
mm,
of your feet simultaneously to stop. And but with me, it's a slight one of my foot, my good one, stops immediately. My one that had
oh,
surgery on is like a slight delay. So when that happens, it creates an off balance, and I'm prone to slipping. And
oh,
I slipped on
goodness.
a corner, and a guy was right there, and we
I
ran
think I
into each
saw that.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just it's pretty crazy, but I mean it happens.
yeah. Falls are pretty common. Thankfully, I haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had a too bad fall, or I've never seen anyone had like an injury or anything. But stuff happens. Like
Oh yeah,
in
stuff
my
happens.
yeah, in my my most recent video, I was wearing white snow camo. I slipped into the trench at Fox, and I got my backside all muddy.
Oh, you're talking about this one right here. The
Yeah,
airsoft. Okay, let's check that
Slowly
out.
pushing our way up.
yeah. It was
I don't
towards the end
remember.
of the video.
Okay, that might explain it because I was like, I don't
Like,
recall that.
oh, right there.
Right here,
Yeah,
619.
like 619. Yeah.
Okay, let's check that out.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's very muddy on the sides of the
That's
trench.
probably real muddy now. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. You can pause it. I don't actually get me one in this trench, but it's fun to try.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. It's progressed too. I remember when they first dug those out, they didn't
Yeah.
have all this on top of it that I recall.
No, yeah,
That
it was
came
just
later.
yeah. I remember in I think August, I did a day where I didn't play, but I just went and did photos, and one side of the trench had all that cover, and then the other team side had no cover at all. So it was like
Kind of
kind
a
of unfair.
disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny to see how people adapted to that.
See, there was another one. Maybe it was this one. Airsoft CQP with full auto shotgun.
Do you know what it was?
I remember you were inside prison and you were using a shotgun. That's what I recall. So I don't know if it was this one or not.
I have another one where I'm using a pump action with a drum mag. I don't know what moment you might be thinking of though.
Well, we could try that. Do you happen to know the name of the video?
Um, it should just say Airsoft CQB with a drum mag. Just look up drum, probably. Yeah, the
Yeah, that's
drum.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this is it right here.
yeah, that was a fun day for sure. Oh yeah, I was playing with one punch a little bit.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay, thanks for commenting, dude.
Of course, man.
I always like replying to stuff like that, and
How's your leg doing?
This guy's fun. I think he's from Colorado. I see him at the fields every now and then.
Nice.
Welcome back to the prison field. Today I'm running my pump-action shotgun with a drum magazine. In this mode, there is a golden football located in the middle of the prison, and the goal is to have it on the enemy's side the longest. Think of it kind of like hot potato.
Keep going, keep going.
Is this water?
No.
Football spotted.
It's so much fun watching how the kids like go about
I've done
things.
in the past.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too.
Yeah,
And they're not all the same. Sometimes they react differently.
yeah, some of them are more crazy going in it, and some of them are a bit more timid. Oh, this part's very silly. It's a habit I think I've gotten over now, but it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you didn't hit me. I just got scared. Good job. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It seems to be something that I do
Yeah.
every single time. I go to the
That used to be a
field,
huge
especially in
problem
super
for
close
me
range.
when
The
I
guy
was
dry
new to
fired his revolver,
CQB.
and I didn't even shoot. I just panicked.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I was first playing at prison early in
Mhm.
2024, I had a similar circumstance or a similar situation, except in my particular case, I accidentally had the M4 on safety. So
Oh,
when I rushed in, I immediately pointed at the guy, and of course, I kind of spooked him because he didn't figure I was going to rush right into him,
yeah.
and I just kept pressing, kept trying to fire, and he wouldn't fire. I was like, what the hell? And then he pointed his pistol at me and he shot me.
Uh,
And I'm like,
I've been there. Yeah. When I used to run a sidearm more, I would always have that problem of forgetting to put the safety off.
yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. After that, I made sure that didn't happen again.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to get into situations like that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Panic
I'm
seeing a
always
pistol aimed
so
right at my
aware
face.
of that.
Advancing.
I've gotten better at not freaking out when someone's right in my face, though. But yeah, that used to happen a lot last year.
Hit.
Obviously, I need to work on my CQB skills, but this was actually one of the most painful hits I've ever taken in airsoft because earlier in the day,
Oh, yeah.
I got
Was that in the
friendly
hand?
fired really close range.
No, that was in the
and,
neck.
It drew some blood on my neck,
Ah.
and where this guy hit me, it was the same exact spot on my neck, and it reopened it, and it just
Yeah,
hurt
that one
really
sucked.
bad.
Is the football right there?
Yeah, we should not be going there.
I see footprints in the next room.
I was gonna say you had to get one of them.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I should have
That
recorded
guy,
this game
though.
in a higher resolution so I could zoom in better, but you're gonna have to trust me. I can see the BBs better in person, and this guy was definitely not calling some hits.
Hit. That guy's not calling it. He's cheating.
Yeah. Again, that could have been like maybe I was hitting his boot or something, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't remember now.
That's what I thought.
Let's do that again. Did he hop?
He tried to. So yeah, my BBs must have been going slow. Yeah.
He was hopping.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing there. I think. Oh, this is.
Oh.
This is the way you're supposed to play airsoft. He rolled away, but he did call his hit, and yeah, it's just, who doesn't like seeing slides and rolls and fun stuff like that on the field, while also playing honorably and playing fair.
Yeah. I love it when people do crazy stuff.
Yeah, because that's what makes it more exciting. Unpredictability.
Doing okay around that corner,
Yeah.
getting some trades, but it's really not working all that well, so I'm going to go back to my favorite tactic on this map, sliding under the stairs.
Oh, I love this. I love doing this.
Double kill.
How's it going? What?
BBs.
You got a BBs?
Sir.
You want some?
Sure.
I should be able to just pour it.
Run mag on a shotgun, huh?
See, it's working so well.
Yeah, good. Does it shoot multiple BBs at once?
3.
Yeah. I think this is about the end of the action stuff on this one. Yeah. I actually have that drum mag. Do you want me to go grab it real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
see
just,
that.
Yeah, it's different. Hopefully it's not too rattly, but I people always ask me about it whenever I'm at the field, and it's because it isn't like a mag adapter. It is just a drum magazine for a shotgun, and it holds like I think 1,500 or so.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah,
1,500. How much do those
yeah.
usually go for?
This one I think 50 or 60, but like compared to I have one right here. Compared to like the shotgun shell mags, this is like a lot more worth it for the capacity, in my opinion. But it's also like pretty over the top for a $50 Springer.
Yeah. And how many shotguns do you have?
Oh geez. I counted it the other day. I don't remember. I think it's eight.
8? Oh, that's
Yeah.
quite a few.
Yeah. I love me some shotguns. Yeah, I have a habit of I collect the shells. So if I see someone selling a used shotgun and they have like more than a couple shells, I usually try to get it because these are pretty cheap and they resell for like 20 bucks or something. So I'm able to pick up a lot of them.
Oh, nice. Oh, good deal. If you have 8 shotguns, I could only imagine like how big your arsenal is with all the
It
toys.
is it's quite a good size. I'm not sure how well my laptop camera is showing it, but it's all on that table minus one that I'm trying to sell right here. Is it okay if I hold it on screen? Just want to
Oh
make sure.
yeah, yeah. That's totally fine.
Yeah, this is the only one that I'm, working on selling right now. It's an Elite Force tri shot. Just it's CO2. I'm trying to get rid of my CO2 stuff.
Oh, nice. And out of curiosity, how much are you selling that for? Maybe someone on this
Uh
stream will see that, be like, hey, I'm going to contact Slim Airsoft on that.
maybe yeah. Honestly, right now I'm gonna say $90. I'll make it come with all of its shells, a lot of the CO2 I have. It comes with a wrench. I'll put a gun bag with it,
Nice. All right, well, cool.
but it
Well,
wants it.
if um if someone watches this and they're interested and you get a contact, just ask where they got the referral.
Mhm,
And then I'd be glad if that helped. And so
mhm.
good deal. So my next question is, I mean, do you do any type of night games at all?
No, no night games yet. I really want to, but I know at least at Fox you need to have a tracer unit and glowing armbands. I have a tracer unit that I haven't tested yet. No BBs for it, and no glow armbands. But yeah, I do want to get into that. That's going to be a New Year's resolution, I think.
Oh, you know, good deal. Yeah, I saw that and that looked pretty cool to get into.
Mhm.
Maybe when I have approval from Congress, I can do that too. But
Yep.
about one thing at a time.
Yeah, money.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the funny thing
Mhm.
is, I don't have an issue with money. It's just getting the approval is the problem.
Fair.
But when you get married and have kids, all that comes into play, and it gets a
Yeah,
little bit more interesting to still have fun, if that makes sense.
yeah. I understand that. If you don't mind me asking, are your kids old enough to play airsoft yet?
No, unfortunately not. In
All
a few
right.
years, maybe. Well, it'll be more in a few years. I have a 4-year-old daughter,
Okay.
so it'll be quite a while. I think you have to be 10, I believe. Is that right? Or is it 12? How
I
old do you
think
have to
10
be?
sounds about right.
Yeah,
10 or
I could be wrong.
13. Yeah.
Yeah. So quite some time yet, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll be able to at least train her on what to do and what not to do on basic, safety
Nice. Yeah.
procedures. I'm hoping to do that in the next few years, but
Of course.
we'll see. Yeah, you never know. She might be the next national sniper.
Yep.
So you never know. You have to see what happens.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, but my next question for you is that do you do airsoft out of state? Do you do any mil sims or anything like that?
No, I haven't done any meal sims yet. I don't have, I don't think any real meal sim gear. Like, I haven't looked. Oh, did we get disconnected?
No, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any like, green or tan camo for that. Or I've heard you need specific requirements for how you dress and what your kit is. I just haven't looked into that stuff yet. I like the weekend skirmishes.
You know, and nothing wrong with weekend skirmishes. I mean, that alone could be a lot of fun. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
so yeah. Me myself, I haven't done a milsim. I really want to. I have the gear for it.
Mhm.
Again, just getting approval and the timing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it looks fun because you know, coordination and of course it's a little bit more serious ish.
Yeah.
And depending on which one you go to can depend on how serious they are. But still,
Hmm.
I mean, real world or close to it simulations. I mean, that's a different experience,
Yeah. I mean, it's
definitely
like,
worth trying.
yeah, I mean, it's like playing Call of Duty versus Squad or something. They're kind
Yeah,
of milsim stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, I think it
Exactly.
looks like great fun, just not yet for me. Yeah, one day,
Yeah, one
hopefully.
day, one thing at a time, for
Mhm.
sure. Since we were talking about like switching between player videos, do you mind if I show one of mine real quick? I'm showing the co-op of how I switch from one player to another.
Yeah, go for
Real
it.
quick. All right. Give me a second here.
Because I don't think I've watched that one yet.
It's pretty slick. Of course, I had the same difficulty as you did with trying to work with two different video sets. Um, but even that, I think it turned out okay. So let me get this back open again. There we go. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. So it's this one right here, the Ultimate Co-op Airsoft Experience.
Hmm.
All right. So we'll start playing it here.
Oh, wow. Good slide.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Yeah. I love the music you put in these.
And just so you know, when you hear the quack sounds, that's me replacing an inappropriate word. Just so
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
I usually just cut out my audio for that. Yeah, people do it a lot.
Let's go, take hold, move, move, move.
So if you see right here, it switches to player two.
Hmm.
It's the label on the top right side.
Did he just crawl under the stairs?
He did.
Nice.
Coming out in the middle. Friendly. Fritz, am I
That
recording?
helicopter edited in?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
It
It's
actually
like
is.
so seamless with everything else you're putting in.
Teamwork. We were
I
able
was
to
wondering.
secure.
No, it's just coincidental on that particular case.
That's fine.
Okay, we have control.
And this is where I switched to the other player mode or other player. Now it's on player one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I'm seeing some of the stabilization differences.
Yeah, you should see a difference between two and one for sure.
Mhm.
Y'all get some reinforcements, you gotta use them now.
Of course, he's just chilling there. We're in the front lines. He's just chilling.
Yeah. What game mode is this?
Actually, I forgot which one it was. I have the original raw footage, so I could probably answer that for you later on. But right now, I just don't recall.
That's fine. I just don't recognize that objective. Oh, I like that.
One on the tire, one behind the tires. Hit.
You're in courtyard right now, make sure you're behind that thing.
Pulling you in, Clyde.
Sniper.
What happened?
And this is pretty funny because I spent 5 minutes exchanging fire with this guy. Spaz
Oh,
comes in and he takes him out within a few seconds.
you love to
So,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
of course.
really? So,
Yeah. And sometimes it just takes like that different perspective.
I got him out. Yes, it did. Hit! Good shot, good shot, good shot! Dead. Keep finishing up.
1 minute. Come on, newbie. Push up. Get that shell. You guys keep flip-flopping on moving. Take it. Grab that shell. You'll win this game, I promise.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing some of that like warp stabilizing effect.
yeah. And unfortunately, it had to work on that.
It looks good though. I mean, I just recognize it because I have to use it sometimes. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I can imagine what it was before, I think.
Friendly!
One final push now, Dan. Come on. Let's get it going.
One's pushing up, one's pushing up. Coming through that door.
Nice.
Bro, I saw you flinch, my guy.
One's dead in that door. Ricochet.
Are you serious now? You do all that. This is not good.
So this is a perfect example where people receive hits, but they don't call it. But
Yeah.
most of the time it's in by accident, obviously. But if you encounter situations like this, never take it personal. It's
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's that's how I view it when things like this occurs.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, especially in my older videos, and especially during the summer videos when it's more hot, I'm already miserable at the field. Sometimes I do get more upset than I should at the game for sure. And like when I'm looking back at the footage of me, I'm just like, oh man, what am I doing? You know, it's like, yeah, just a
Yeah,
kind of self embarrassment.
no, it's all good. We were all running to that. It's totally fine, especially how you're describing it. Especially on a hot day, yeah, nerves could be triggered pretty easily when everyone's exhausted and
Yeah.
sweating out there.
Mhm. Can you hear me real quick? My Wi-Fi was having an issue for a second.
Yeah, definitely, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Just wanted to
Okay,
make sure
awesome.
real quick.
Yeah.
All right. This game ends in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Index.
As you noticed from the last engagement, players didn't call their hits, even sometimes by
Nice.
accident. If it happens to you, don't let it bother you, because at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun.
Exactly.
And here I am trying to use hand signals.
Mhm. Is that the comms I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. You are hearing comms. That is external speaker comms. Now, on my next
Okay.
video, I found a way to record internal comms. So directly from the channel of frequency.
Yeah.
And so on my next video, I'll be incorporating that in there. And it gets kind of interesting because people don't know that, well, for one, you're monitoring what they're saying, but also that you're recording them, right? So you'll be surprised at some of the conversations I have on there. It's not what you think most of the time. It's not like people saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, there's a target in the next room." It's usually, goofy stuff, So it's
Yeah.
but that's airsoft. So I
Mhm.
can't wait to start sharing that.
Yeah, that does sound very cool. I'm excited for that one.
course, now we're just sitting there. We're not moving forward.
There's always a moment like this.
Two of my teammates are down, so now I'm just going to hold position until they come back.
This position.
Yeah.
Until I receive reinforcements.
I think that's so funny that we both like say the same thing that we say in our videos right after.
Yeah. It's right about here.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you noticed, but I have a very sensitive trigger. So
Yeah, it looks very snappy.
it is, and of course, it's a good and bad thing, right? So in my particular case, it's good because I know that mathematically, in probability, I'm going to hit you, but at the same time, it may give the impression that I'm overshooting, even though I'm not intentionally doing that. So
Yeah.
in this case, I hit the guy like 3-4 times, right? And that wasn't intentional. So you just got to be careful in situations like that.
Yeah, I understand that. He was very chill about it. Good sport. But yeah, sometimes when people get hit multiple times, they aren't too happy about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, no.
Yeah. I think it's usually pretty obvious. I mean, like,
Good trade. Good trade. Come through.
So right here, he's walking out, and there's me, right? So I'm still in the same position as I was before.
Yeah.
So he's walking out, and of course, he's trying to follow the rules, so he can't warn me until he's near spawn or at spawn.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I was kind of testing internal comm communication. So I was able to record his internal comms warning me.
And 5, you're about to have heavy contact, about to flank you in the hallway.
And when he warned me, I immediately changed my position.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then we both knocked each other out.
Traded. But good job, though. Good job.
That's very cool. How did you do that?
I had a few people ask me, and I rather, for now, I'd rather keep that private.
That's fair.
It's I haven't seen anyone else do this, and it's not something that you could just buy off of Walmart, if that makes sense. It's a customization I had to do, and it's working. So, so I want to take advantage of it while I can, and then until I start seeing other people doing the same thing, then I'll start announcing like how I'm doing this, and I'm sure other YouTubers will start emulating it. But
that's very cool.
Yeah, it's different. And like I told you before, on the next video that I plan to post, my HUD is going to be redesigned, well, updated. I'll just say it that way. So there'll be a version 2 of it, and then internal comms will be released, and then go from there. So I look forward to it. It's a little bit different, and then and maybe someday I'll have a video of you shooting me and killing me, and then I could put that on my YouTube channel and say, hey, Slim Airsoft took me out. So
yeah, we gotta try to coordinate going together sometime for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that. And also, if you want to do like a co-op video recording, I'm totally up for that as well.
That'd be fun.
Because I've seen your video quality. I mean, it's pretty good.
Thank you.
I'm sure
Likewise.
I'll be able to use it to match the rate that I'm using. So I don't think I'm going to have any problems with that.
What's like, not super specific on like brightness and stuff, but what is your camera settings and what head cam do you run?
The head cam I run is a GoPro version 12. The settings, to be perfectly honest, I don't remember exactly. I did had to make customizations to it. I
Hmm.
actually have it on my notes, but I don't have that in front of me. I'll be
Okay.
more than willing to share you what it is on a private message.
All right.
But
I'm just
yeah,
thinking like, is it 4K, 1080,
I
30
record in
FPS?
4K.
Okay.
Yeah, I do record in 4K. I don't do 5 because if I remember correctly, that slows down the rate
Hmm.
slightly, and also it's a bigger file to edit,
Yeah,
and it overheats the GoPro faster.
of
So
course.
I try to I try to avoid that. I mean, the standard is 4K, and that's what I usually stick with. But
Okay.
overheating, I don't know how you've been dealing with it, but me, I had to make some modifications, and
Carefully.
it's a challenge. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I even got so desperate. I actually attached one of those mini fans and actually
Oh.
incorporated it I have a custom casing for it,
Hmm.
that I had it 3D printed.
Oh,
So
nice.
I used that, but then I had to alter its design so I could put a fan on the back of it. And
Oh,
it
gee.
kept it cool, but the problem is now is that you have that fan noise, which you have to filter out, and that takes additional time. And I was like, you know what? If I capture video, I capture it. If I don't, I don't. So I took the fan off and I took the battery out, and now I'm using an external battery, which helps,
Hmm.
but it's not as good as the fan. But I don't want to use the fan now because it takes too much time to filter out the noise. So it's
Yeah, I feel that. One of the ways I've been starting to deal with overheating, and this has helped a lot, is this is my mask that I use currently. It's just a dye mask with a basic GoPro mount on it. But actually, the way this fits is I can actually open the rear of the dive case to be able to put my GoPro in. So I usually put my GoPro in and start recording like right before anything happens. Because then, like if you start in the staging area, there's like 2 to 5 minutes of extra footage that your GoPro was already heating up with. And that's how I've started to get around it. It's not perfect. It still does overheat sometimes. I do have to record in like 1440 as opposed to 4K, unfortunately. But that's how I've been getting around it. And then one thing I do that might help with your fan situation is when I have my selfie camera, I have it on this little, it's a tiny GoPro Hero. I have it on the end of my gun pointing back towards me. And
yeah.
then that's where I pull my audio from. I don't even use my head cam for audio anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you sync it after the fact, basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, let me show you mine just so you can see what I've done to it. Of course, I have
Alrighty.
my daughter's Grinch doll here. I'll move that out of the way. Okay, so this is what mine is. If I can get the video to see it. So
Yeah.
you can't see it, but if you look closely, there's a
Hmm.
casing and it's overlaying the GoPro. And
Okay.
then that casing has camo on it, right?
Hmm.
So this what helps protect it from the sun because if you have it exposed in the sun for too long, even if you have it like off, you're still increasing the temperature on the GoPro by I think like 15 degrees, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So this helps on the heat. And if you look closely, if I can get the camera to zoom in a little bit, you see that kind of looks like a shade on top. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
goes back further than where the GoPro's at. And that's its shade. So when the sun hits from the top, it's not hitting the GoPro at all. Even when I have it on my head in a certain angle, it's still shielding it from the sun.
That's
And
smart.
but yeah, in the back of it, it's completely like it goes all the way back to where the GoPro is. You just can't. Hopefully, you can see it.
Kind
But
of.
that's
Yeah.
how I have mine set up at the moment.
Hmm.
And of course, with the external battery, here's the external batteries on the back of it. That's what I've been prolonging its life. It helps a little bit. Not, it's not foolproof. It only extends it an extra like 10 minutes, but still with that extra 10 minutes, I mean, you
Yeah.
could potentially get more interesting scenes, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, and of course that's trial and error. I mean, it's not something I did overnight. It's just like I told you, I got desperate and put a fan on that damn thing and
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's just whatever you can make work. And
Hmm.
because that transparent case that you have, it works, but at least with my experience with it, since it's completely exposed to the sun like that, it's you're still increasing heat even though you're not utilizing it, right?
Yeah,
So that's the only downfall about it is, but it's protective because if you get shot by BBs, it's not gonna penetrate.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is just like the standard, dive case the GoPro sells. It's taken so many hits over the years. It's great. I know a lot of people I've heard online, they like to cut out sections of it to
Oh, so it can
help
breathe.
with, yeah, help with the
Yeah.
cooling. And actually, the the back window on this comes with an extra version where it's like cut out so you can actually use the touch screen when it's in here. I've considered using that, but then it's at risk of the screen getting hit,
Yeah.
which would be pretty rare if it's right up against my forehead. But I like
Like,
to,
it can still happen. I mean, you'd be running
yeah,
in a corner, you slip, and that person fires at a
uh
certain
huh,
angle and hits the back of that GoPro.
yeah. If it can happen, it will happen. That's my standard for my cameras.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Believe me, I know. Even the chances of accidental, like just to backtrack a little bit, on my first game in Airsoft, I put together like a customized mask. So I have a mesh that's embedded inside the fabric. So you can't even tell I'm wearing a mesh at all.
Uh-huh.
And so when I put that on there, I was testing it out, and some guy on my first match fires at me and it hits directly into that mesh where my teeth is at. And I felt it. I felt the impact, and I was like, "Holy cow, it works!"
Nice.
Right? So, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I mean, it's just yeah, not exactly the same situation with your GoPro, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
um, accidental areas where you think it's protected, you got to make sure it's protected, right?
Yeah. I think every time I've played without gloves, I've taken some hand or fingernail hit.
Oh, those are the most painful, in my opinion.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I mean, especially
especially
if you
the
get in the
fingernails.
knuckle or fingernails. Yeah, that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That video we were watching where I was playing with my friend Vinny, he actually took a hit to the knuckle, and I think he took two hits right there, and it was bruised on both sides. It was bloody. It was rough.
Ah, I'm sorry to
Yeah, I
hear
felt
that.
so bad. Yeah, I
I
felt
would
so bad for
imagine it
him.
took like a month or two to heal from that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
I,
Hopefully
I
he healed and he got back into the sport because that can discourage a lot of people.
we haven't played since, but that's just because he doesn't go
Here we go.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
cool.
finger hits are nasty. On my first time going to Go Airheads, I had this interaction with this one guy, and basically what ended up happening is he shoved his pistol right into my hand as he shot,
Mm.
and it's gone now. This was 2 years ago, but like right on the first knuckle of my middle finger, I had like a mark for like 6 months.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was rough.
Yeah.
Hurt like
It's
crazy.
me. I had a similar circumstance again. Trial and error. I was learning when I was getting back into the sport in 2024, but I had like one of those thin gloves, and someone with an M4. Of course, I could be wrong, but it felt like he was firing hot. And so, I popped around a corner and he shot me right directly in, right in the knuckle. And I was like, ah, it hurts, and it hurt for almost a month after that. And then it
Ooh,
finally healed and everything was normal. But, after that incident, I was like, okay, I'm getting thicker gloves now. And
yeah,
I've been wearing it ever since. And it's just, that helps minimize future encounters with BBs.
yeah, for sure. Um, Sorry, just 1 second. My AirPods keep making a low battery sound. I just want to make sure. Um,
Welcome back.
All right, yes, we are back. My had to change my headset real quick.
No, it's all good. Um, I also have ear pods here, and I haven't got a warning yet, so I guess I'm still good.
Yeah, I guess I was using these at the gym beforehand, and it was like just enough to lower the battery.
Nah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, well, excellent. Well, before you to let me know what your future endeavors or future plans is for airsoft.
Will do. Yeah. I have a lot of New Year's resolutions, things, and ideas. I'm gonna try and plan. I have a few replicas. I haven't used at the field yet. That's like priority one right now. I do want to, maybe not this year, but soon. I want to try to play at some field out at Spate. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Or maybe trying my first milsim or something. Who knows?
Ah, good deal. Me myself, just getting approval from Congress.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole, I mean, it's simple but to the point.
Yep,
So,
for sure.
all right, well,
Here's a
excellent.
here's a question for you, real quick. I did have this video idea I was thinking about, and it's what is a piece of airsoft gear that is like so helpful to you that you can't consider playing without it?
Oh, wow. Actually, there's quite a few, especially safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the goggles,
Well,
the
yeah.
mesh teeth. Um, but without it, oh my gosh, that is a difficult question to answer because I utilize almost everything I have equally, almost.
Mhm.
The rig is pretty important. Um, Also my GoPro is pretty important.
Yeah.
So, besides that, I don't know yeah, that's an interesting question. I have to give that some more thought.
Okay. Like, for example, two that I have are, and these are like you don't need them at all, but they just help. Is my gun bag has wheels, so I can roll it on the field like a suitcase, and it just helps, not having to carry everything. And then I would say like a Sidewinder speed loader, something that just helps
Ah,
load so
yeah.
much faster. Stuff like that. I'm trying to like put together a good list.
Yeah, speed loader, definitely. I have to agree with that,
Mhm.
because it saves me a lot of time. Um, and I think some of my friends call the wagons. I think that's what they call them. It's
Yeah.
that's those big things with wheels, has all your
Yeah.
stuff on it, and they just roll it.
Yeah. I see a few
So
people do that.
yeah, and that would be useful if you have the gear, excess gear of it, right?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Well, if
Yeah.
if that's the case, it was a it was an honor to have you on, and
Thank you.
I'd love our conversation, especially with your content. If you don't mind, in the future, I would love to have you back on, and we can get into very specific topics,
Of
and
course,
then
sure
and
thing.
just go from there.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I know a bit of a blip here at the end with the whole audio thing. But yeah, it's been great. Love talking with you. I'd love to be back, of course.
Yeah, definitely awesome. Well, thanks again, man, for coming on, and we'll have conversations later, and we'll try to set up another episode.
Yeah, sounds good. We also got to set up going to Fox together for sure.
Oh yeah, co-op play, gameplay. Totally
Yeah.
up for that. Yeah, it'll
Oh,
be
do,
fun.
do you have any of my replicas you'd like to try? I have a shotguns. I have a mini gun.
Honestly, it's just a
Anything?
shotgun. Honestly, that's the
Okay.
thing that has me interested the most. The
Hmm.
mini looks cool, but I think, even though it's cool, I think I would get kind of burnt out with that pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's really the shotgun that I'm mainly interested in trying that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, shotguns definitely encourage a different play style. Miniguns and like LMGs are great, but I feel like at Fox they're pretty limited where you can use them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. But all right, well, awesome, man. We'll get together soon, and look forward to having you on here again. You have a
thank
good
you.
night, and thanks again, and and stay safe.
Yep, you too. Have a good night and have a happy New Year's.
All right, you too, sir.
All right, see ya.